You know how long I've been waiting for this? Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself, yeah. Yo, what's going on, you guys? Frost here, and just got done, watching the AMA and shit, and kind of just gathering a lot of bit of the details so I can sit here and fucking yap and summarize what's been going on and shit. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is sizing up to be one of their biggest updates. Now I'm gonna count this as the whole big update. This is definitely their biggest update. New Horizons was technically the biggest, but what I'm hearing and what I've seen, this is for sure their biggest update that they have ever added into APB to have like more content, more systems enrichment for the game. So I'm proud of them for doing that shit. So that's good. So I'm gonna try and summarize basically what has happened, what has been going on with the game as a whole, and at least just this update, at least the first update, which will be the 15-year anniversary. Yes, this game is fucking 15 years old. This game has birthed many childhoods, and yeah, it's still going strong, I guess, strong. So we're gonna talk about that and just some of the quality of life stuff that they're gonna go to, and then from what has been talked about, whole AMA basically for the whole Legends patch, kind of has been a little bit of hearsay. Some stuff has been in the works, but we got confirmation that there's actually 2 legendaries rather than just one in the pistol that I was talking about in the last video. So anyways, the first thing of order is they talked about the anti-cheat. You know what I'm saying? Now I'll probably have a picture on screen about it. Probably not, but essentially it's their own in-house anti-cheat that is also kernel level, and they're going to be calling it GFAC or GFAC, basically, gamers first anti-cheat. Apparently they've made a lot of changes and got a lot of data from SARD as well as just some other stuff that they kind of gathered. So it's sizing up to be at least a decent anti-cheat. Now I'm not going to go too far into the whole anti-cheat and cheater debacle because it's going to be a never-ending battle. Let's just see how it let's just see how it is basically and see where this goes. It's not going to make a complete stop to cheaters, but I would like the cheating issue to be just to a minute. So the second thing that they are going to be adding into the whole July 2nd update, which will be the 15-year anniversary update, is going to be the leaderboard system. And this is going to be a global missions leaderboard system. I have a picture on screen, and essentially it'll track your kills, your wins, your damage done on characters, and it's going to be a bi-weekly reset. So that means for every 2 weeks that you're on the leaderboard, you'll get rewards for it. And I think that they're going to be enriching that going forward, as this is kind of the testing period of what they're going through with the system. So I think it's nice to have like mission leaderboards and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not really that fond of like kills, wins, and stuff like that. I'm pretty fond of damage done. Damage done does definitely contribute a lot, but there's a lot of other different statistics that I kind of look for. Kills and wins don't really impress me that much. Anybody can get kills and wins with the amount of time that they've invested into the game, so it's like, but I do think that is superbly nice, to see that there is actually some sort of leaderboard system ranging from that. So another couple things that I'm also going to be flashing on screen for their quality of life changes and features and stuff. Before we get to that, the rewards and stuff is going to kind of work like how they did with the Back in the Streets event. You'll get about 1,950 Joker tickets, as well as some titles and stuff. It's gonna be a nice little event to have. And essentially what they're gonna be doing is for the July 2nd update, that's whenever the event happens, and then the next 2 weeks after, they're gonna roll out the Legends patch. So I think that's nice. I do think that's really nice. So now going into quality of life, they basically shut down instant ends with cars, or car gaming essentially, which in my opinion I think is a good change. I know some people are not gonna like it. I know some people are gonna fucking hate it. In the long run, in its longest time of being a thing, sure, you could say it's a skill gap, but it is in a very exploitable skill gap that honestly has killed a lot of momentum for a lot of people and enriched a lot of, whether it be close range gameplay or just safe peaks, to where you'll shoot a couple bullets at somebody and they're low, and then maybe you got sniped, you instant into a car, close a different distance and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that goes into instant ending. I do think nerfing instant end is nice. You can insta out if you're close to a wall, but you can't instant in. So maybe, like I said, I'm cool with insta out, but instant ending was always an issue. So yeah, and then they made it to where with the mission task marker, now it decreases 80% when in marksman mode to avoid mission markers from getting in the way of the fight. I do think this is a change. There was somebody that said on the stream that why not instead of giving people opacity options just in case, and I do think that that was actually a way better way to do it instead of doing a whole 80%, because now it's going to be kind of hard to see whether the mission objective is being done or not, because you know the objective flashes in opacity. So but I think with them pushing out that change, it will be pretty nice to see, and since it won't be in the way, you'll have to unscope and see if someone's doing it or not. I do think this is a nice change, but the whole opacity options thing would have been miles better. And then they retired the Oka silencer, or the Oka SD archetypes, which means all Oka SDs now use the Oka Whisper stats. That's kind of crazy, which means stuff like the Silverado that has a, I think it's like Silverado has a built-in silencer, but I think it's 3 slot. I don't fucking remember, bro. I'm just stupid, you know. Just don't mind me. But it's going to be a very unique change to silenced Okas, since they'll all have the Whisper stats off the board, which means silencer Okas can now have a little bit more, I guess, diversity, if you will. And then they added more extra spawning spots to car spawners around financial, which is going to change financial spawning for the better, I would assume, because there are some spots that kind of give it waterfront vibe spawns and stuff, and some spots that just don't add up. So I do think that that's pretty nice, and that's a good welcoming change. So essentially with the Legends patch that they were talking about in the AMA, they went over 2 new legendaries, and essentially they are the essentially these 2 legendaries. The first one that's a pistol is going to be called the Joker M95 or M9S, my bad, and it's called Pulse Check, which looks like, it kind of looks like a FBW with a big silencer on it. That's what it's giving me. Like, I'll try to flash the image on screen. That's what it's giving me, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't look the FBW. The FBW looks like a little beefier. I don't really know, so it's just, that's just what I feel. But it has a really big silencer. We still don't know the legendary mod for it. That part they want to keep secret because it's still in testing. So right about, you know what I'm saying, they're just trying to just kind of get the finishing groundwork on the weapon. And then the other legendary is the Joker C9S prototype. Now, I'm pretty sure people have already seen the model of this weapon be like a long time ago in the game. They just pulled it out and they basically brought it back into legendary form. And like I said, from what I said from in the last video, I said it's supposed to kind of have a New Glory feel or something like that with this SMG. And whether or not if that is going to be shipped out after testing, or if they're going to rework it again and maybe give it a different attribute, is completely on them, honestly. So it's just like, it's still all up in the air at this fucking point for this gun. But I do think that they look kind of nice. I do think the pistol looks nice too. And I don't know exactly what they're going to do with existing legendaries. I feel like the pistols, like the OSCP and stuff like that, is very lackluster. I really do hope those get some changes, but we are supposed to be getting some balancing changes as well going forward into the Legends patch, if I would remember, I was told correctly whenever I asked about it. So they also changed premium as well. Premium now works as a you can pay like $5 a month and you get 1500 JTs, and you get 30% more standing on contacts. You get 120% more APB money. And there's a lot more rewards, and all the free-to-play players get the same customization, you know what I'm saying, stuff going forward that Premium had. It's still going to be free-to-play, but you know what I'm saying, there's still some stuff that Premium does give out. That keeps it unique. Let me see if I can find it. Essentially, you could display your clan name as a character title, which means you can't do that as, you know, free Premium anymore. And then they're probably going to be adding premium leaderboards and maybe some more improved XP benefits. Well, but that's mostly for everybody. But what I'm saying is, like, for premium, that's how it's going to go forward. And I do think that that's pretty nice, since you just get a nice little boost, and, you know, towards XP, towards money, if you want to buy premium, and get access to the vault, which means they'll have like a rotational bundles in the shop that you can buy that's discounted, essentially. even including new stuff going into the site. There's a lot of stuff that's going on with the premium. I'm not going to go too far in depth because I don't remember a lot of it, and most that has what has been said, it has been in the announcement tab as is already. So that's pretty good to hear about. So they talked about Epic Games being released on the Legends patch. Now I'm not sure, this was something that they did say that like it's to be coming whenever the Legends patch is out, that they plan on releasing on Epic Games. This is all subject to change, and it could happen. So if that is the case, we could get a lot more of an influx of players playing this game, or at least a decent bit of influx of players playing APB Reloaded from the Epic Games launcher. And that'll be a completely new wave of people that think that this is a new game, but then they come to realize once they join like the Discord and they start to learn a little bit more about the game, people are, you know what I'm saying, there's going to be like, oh, this game's been out for like 15 years, it's been around forever, and they're like, oh really, wow, like, you know what I'm saying. And I think that's nice. A new set of eyes on back on the game is really nice as well, and opens the door for a lot of new people to get into APB and learn about the game, because as is right now, it's pretty hard. The barrier of entry to understanding the game is hard. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to make a video prior going forward, videos going forward to help ease that. But like I said, just as is, the barrier of entry is hard. And the last thing I'm probably going to talk about is obviously the two new contacts that is confirmed, which is Zombie and LaRocha. And it's going to be level 290, and I'm probably going to try and flash an image with, you know, the rank icons that is going to be the new rank icons for the max rank. And these are clean, honestly. I saw the one with the dragon on the crim, and I was like, bro, that shit is fucking clean. I've grown to like the 270 max after a while. I remember when I first got it, I was like, but then now it's like, you know, I can live with it. It's not that bad, but it is pretty basic. But these new rank icons are actually fucking like nice. And to kind of crush this, these aren't newly made. These were already been inside of the system for the longest time. They're just extending the ranks as well, going towards the contact progression going into the game. So I think, you know, with Zombie and LaRocha, you know, people that have been pretty much sitting in you know, social, at least Zombie mostly, like I think it's nice. I think it's nice to see that they actually have a spot in financial that they're going to have, and you know, people can actually get rewards and, you know, stuff from there. There were a couple questions that I wanted to ask in there. I was also thinking about when they were going to be unlocking the 4th equipment slot. I think they talked about that last game, and they were like kind of waiting because it kind of opens a bit of the Pandora's box of balancing, and they're not trying to dive that far deep into it as, you know, going forward. So that's pretty much for now what I have to talk about. There's obviously a lot more going into the game, whereas rewards and, you know what I'm saying, we could see new modifications come in, we can see a lot of different new stuff. But as of right about now, this is literally what has been talked about and what has been pretty much confirmed off the bat. And honestly, it's a pretty big update. It's bigger than I would even say New Horizons. I feel like New Horizons for sure faded out after their first 3 months due to the influx, you know, cheating issue. And I just think that people having a waterfront contact, you know what I'm saying, people were stuck playing waterfront for the longest, and it just expended a lot of progression, I would say, in my opinion, for a lot of people, since they were kind of mid-tier, you know, contacts, if I'm not remembering. So yeah, that's all I can pretty much say about it. So yeah, I'm honestly happy to see that there's actual new content coming into APB. And yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you all for watching. And as always,